Welcome home to my kitchen. Today's easy, economical, large family dinner is carnitas. We are going to take a very inexpensive cut of meat, a pork shoulder, and simmer it all day in the crock pot. Then we'll put it in the oven to make it nice and crisp and serve it over Mexican rice. So pork shoulder is probably one of, if not the cheapest cuts of meat you can get. This one was $1.99 a pound. There's about 7 pounds of meat here. When you put it in the crock pot, you can either use pre-made taco seasoning. I like to avoid the extra fillers and preservatives, so I just sprinkle chili powder, garlic powder, oregano, and black pepper pretty generously all over the top of the roast. And then for the extra succulent flavor, I like to use Coke, Diet Coke in our house, so that Seth can drink it, whatever I don't use. And I use, for a 7-pound roast, about 2 cups of cola. It almost fills the crock pot. And that's it. So I already put a roast in early this morning, about 9 o'clock, and it's been simmering for about 8 hours, and so it should be ready to shred. So again, you just put this in the crock pot, put the seasonings on top as a rubbing, fill the crock pot with some Diet Coke, regular Coke, and let it simmer on low all day long. Okay, our roast has been simmering for about 8.5 hours, and it is ready. So all this black on top is just the seasonings that are cooked in. A good way to check it, it should just peel right off the bone. This is the shoulder bone right here that we're gonna discard. As you can see, it is so just tender, just falling off the bone, and that's exactly what we want. I'm gonna get a plate here for that shoulder bone. And so you're just gonna take chunks of meat and put it into some kind of a broiling pan, cookie sheet, something that you can roast the meat in. And I mean, this is just falling off the bone. Don't want to let anything go to waste. We'll go through the meat in a moment and get out all the fatty pieces. We don't want the big chunks of fat in there. Most of it has cooked off in the crock pot, but nobody likes to get a chunk of gristle in their mouth. So plenty of meat here for a large family. This will easily feed 10 to 12 people, if not more. All right, so I got it all. So what's left is just the juice mixed in with the Coke. We are not gonna use that in this recipe, so we're just gonna set that aside. And now I'm just gonna take a couple forks and I'm gonna shred up this meat. You can shred it as fine as you want it. My husband likes big chunks of meat. He does not like it finely shredded. I prefer it that way, but he does not, and so we are going to leave it in big chunks for him. So this was the underside. That's just a big piece of fat that I don't want. Let's get this all shredded. Yum. In the meantime, while you are shredding the meat, your oven should be preheating to 425, 450. I think I have mine set at 450. A high heat oven, because we are going to make this meat crispy. Not dry though. We don't want to dry it out, right? We still want moist, juicy meat. And I'm actually surprised. Oftentimes a shoulder, pork shoulder can be pretty fatty, but this one, you know, the fat's cooked down and mostly lean meat left. So that is as much as I'm gonna shred it. It's more chunky in our family, for my husband's preference, rather than super shredded like you would for, say, tacos. Okay, so my oven is not quite heated up yet, so I'm just gonna leave this pan of meat here while my oven heats. Okay, my oven is hot and ready at 450 degrees. I'm gonna put the carnitas in. Set my timer for about 18 minutes. And now we're gonna make some Mexican rice that the meat will go over. So for time's sake, this is just, it wasn't Rice-A-Roni, but a boxed brand. No shame in that game. We're gonna add the water, and when it starts boiling, this will take about 20 minutes, the same as our meat. They'll be ready at the same time, and it will be delicious. So that roast was $15, 3 boxes of rice, $1 a piece. So you can feed 12 people for $18. Good deal. Good food too. I mean, it's gonna feed the, fill the belly. So yeah, we'll just wait for this to boil, put the lid on it, let it simmer for 20 minutes, let the meat crisp for 20 minutes, and check back in. Okay, the timer has gone off, 20 minutes is up. La la la. Okay, can you see the crisp? You can hear the sizzle. So again, the meat is not dried out. It's simply just like the edges, the outside edges are all crispy. And our rice, you can use Spanish rice, but I like Mexican rice. It's different. So we will serve up Brian's plate. Oh gosh. Okay. So we're just gonna do a couple scoops of rice. Top it with chunks of meat. And then you can add toppings of sour cream, avocado. We'll have some topping choices. But yeah, this is it. And now it's your turn.